Well, when it comes to prizes, in those days, and I imagine it's true today, that depended on your ratings. If you had a big enough audience, then you could get a big enough prize. You assessed how much a prize was worth. For example, let's say that a 8 or 10 second plug on a show for a prize like let's say a television set. The television set was assessed at $500, but in those days, 8 seconds was only worth $250. So you'd have to use that plug twice to own that television set. You would then own the television set. If it was a washer dryer, you worked accordingly. Now, if you were pricing olives and peanuts, that was a 35-cent item. So the supplier would have to pay the show the $250 or $300. So every time you use one of those, you would get a credit. 250, 250, 250. Now these would then end up helping you to pay for the car, because people weren't going to give you a car for a mention. You would get credit for $300 per mention, but you'd have to, a $3,000 car in those days, you'd have to make 10 mentions before you owned that car. So you would have to get an awful lot of peanuts to pay for the cars. And that's how you had a prize budget, but a lot of it was provided to you by the manufacturers themselves, who paid you so much per announcement. And that figure at the daytime was assessed at $250 or $300. Maybe the nighttime show was worth $1,000 because of the larger audience. Today, 30, 40 years later, maybe you get $500 per announcement. I don't know, because I don't have the game show anymore. But it seems to me that there's a fee that's set by the manufacturers for how much a plug is worth. And then you pay off the prize in that manner. So let's say that color TV sets and washers and dryers were a wash. The peanuts paid for the cars. I think Steve also came up with the word zonk. I don't know, maybe from a cartoon somewhere where somebody got hit over the head and it was called a zonk. But he got it out of cartoons somewhere, and we call these things zonks. And because we wanted to have a mixture of good prizes behind the curtains with zonks, we then had the staff working on what would be creative behind the curtains. It's animals, and then it became 100 pies, or 15 watermelons, or a salami tree, a tree with salamis hanging on it. But by the same token, our staff, our people at NBC or ABC, would then come up with wonderful inventions like double-decker dining room sets, a car with 3 outhouses on it, a spinning wheel, and Jay would be the old lady making a spinning wheel and putting a little cotton coming out of it and so on, the wool coming out of it. All these zonks were created by the creative staff, and they were manufactured by ABC. Now, these cost a lot of money to make. So when we would get a car with 2 front ends welded together and a person won it, we hoped in goodness that after the show we could offer her a television set for that zonk. But they were entitled to it by law if they wanted it. And indeed, a couple of people took these, and it cost us $2,500, $3,000 to make these zonks. So we shuddered if somebody said, I think I'll take that double-decker dining room set home with me, or the front 2 front ends welded together and so on. But this was a creative staff that created them, and we, of course, we have, over the years, have a Bible of hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of these zonks that we have created.